Yeah, hi, it's Jay Brannon here again. This video is just obviously a talk today. As you can see, I'm in my bedroom, so it's not exactly going to be a lengthy walk. And in fact, this series I'm going to rebrand now, Jay's Walks and Talks, to reflect the fact that not every video will be a walking video. And obviously, even on those, there's always going to be a lot of discussion and chat. I've mainly just come on today to sort of update what I've been up to over the past week, really. Obviously, the Masters golf is on in the background, which is for me golf's greatest tournament. I do love the Open Championship, but there's just something a little bit extra special about the Masters. The fact that it comes back to the same course every year, with the brilliant layout they always have at Augusta. I think the back nine with its kind of risk reward feel always creates drama on that final Sunday. It's one of the great sporting and television nights of the year. I don't see this year being any different, really. Dustin Johnson comes back to defend the green jacket, something which has not been achieved by any player since Tiger Woods in 2002. Of course, Woods absent this year. I think Phil Mickelson, a three-time winner, he's 50 these days, lefty, but this is an event where course experience is so important, and I think he could be worth a punt today at over 100 to 1 his price at the outset, because many veterans over the years have been able to roll back the years at Augusta, and Mickelson still plays, pretty competitively on the main tour. He's also been very dominant on the senior circuit since joining that last year. Jordan Spieth, of course, returned to winning ways last week with victory in the Texas Open. He was winner of the green jacket in 2015, which I think, makes him definitely one of the leading fancies again coming into this week's event. I'm really looking forward to watching it over Sky on the next few days. Of course, it's a big week of sport generally with the Grand National on Saturday. I watched the first day of the meeting at Aintree earlier, and on Saturday we've got the first National for 2 years. I'll have a little bit more to say about that when I make my appearance on the BHBN Saturday Sports Show, when we discuss with Phil Stoneman the tips that I'll be selecting. You can also see my selections 1, 2, 3, 4 on my LinkedIn page, which is also under the name Jay Brannon. Last night I watched a brilliant film called BlackKklansmann, which stars John Washington, the son of the great Denzel Washington. It's a film about infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan. A black man, a black officer in fact, gets one of his colleagues, a white man, to portray his persona, Ron Stallworth. And it's just a gripping, tense film made by Spike Lee, and it's a brilliant polemic, really, on the times that we live in now. It was set in 1972, but it was made in 2017 by Spike Lee, and it's very much a critique, really, of the Trump administration and that kind of whipping up, really, of far-right hysteria, and the tribute at the end to Heather Heyer, who died in the anti-fascist protests in Charlottesville in August 2017, is a really nice touch by Lee. Brilliant film. I think the performance is generally really strong. I think one of the Ku Klux Klan members, actually, I can't remember the name of the actor that played particularly the most despicable of them, and he got killed in the end in the film, but I thought his performance was perhaps the standout of what was a wonderfully scripted movie with a very good soundtrack as well. In terms of books this week, Bobby Robson's autobiography has been a treat. I think it just underlines what a great gentleman of the game he was. Died way back now in 2009. I can't believe it's 12 years since Robson was last imparting wisdom, because he's a really great observer of the game. I think what used to get lost a bit with Robson was that in his era he was seen a little bit as perhaps a great man manager, but not necessarily renowned as a tactician. But I think reading the book, you see that actually his football philosophy was a lot more sophisticated than perhaps people gave him credit for. And I don't think there's an English manager that's had more success abroad than Robson. He won titles with Porto, PSV, in fact 2 titles with each of those clubs. And with Barcelona, he won the Copa del Rey and the Cup Winners' Cup as well back in the 90s. So, to have that success in different footballing cultures underlines, I think, the variety of Robson's, repertoire, really. So that was a book that I enjoyed. I'm now moving on to a book about Bernie Sanders, not a biography as such, one where he talks about, generally socialism in the States and also worldwide, about how we need to, impart a left-wing agenda into our politics to save us from all this capitalist nightmare. So I'm looking forward to getting into that as well. Tonight I'll be watching Manchester United against Granada in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. United's last chance to win some silverware this season. I think given they dismissed Real Sociedad 4-0 in aggregate in the previous round, a lower-ranked La Liga team shouldn't provide too much opposition for United in terms of progressing. But at the same time, some of our strikers can at times be a little bit inconsistent. The likes of Cavani, Rashford, obviously Martial won't be fit, but Greenwood, they're not still as reliable as you'd like. And as much as it seems fanciful to think that Sergio Aguero would be prepared to cross the bitter divide, the fact that he's now willing to leave City, well, being released by City rather, at the end of the season, he's the type of reliable goal scorer we need. That said, obviously, fitness record with Aguero is very poor now, and you can see why City are deciding to let go of a player that astonishingly never won a PFA or Football Writers Player of the Year award, despite the fact I think there's serious claims that he's Man City's greatest ever player. So I'm just that's a little update of what I've been up to over the last few days, watching a lot of sport after that brilliant film last night, which followed actually that cracking Champions League match between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. So I've got the United game coming up, and then it'll be back onto the golf then through till midnight as well. Been enjoying a bit of the Premier League darts, spending some time at home as well with my parents, going for a few walks. And then next week, I'm hoping to do the second part of the Newhall video that I said that would be up before now. I haven't quite been able to get there, and the weather's obviously been pretty nasty at the start of this week as well. I mean, I thought Tuesday was one of the coldest April days I've ever experienced. Hope everyone's well. I've got my jab on Monday as well, so it'd be kind of a relief to get it out of the way, to be honest with you. I'm not worried about needles anymore. I was a few years ago. But at the same time, you can get a little alarmed reading some of the stuff about AstraZeneca. I don't know if it will be that brand anyway. It might be a Pfizer vaccine. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I'll see you again next week at some point with the Newhall video and reflect maybe on what should be a stupendous weekend of sport.